Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, that's always an aspiration and perhaps a description of what we need to have and to be and to do every day. That's right, every day. A lady or a gentleman. We need to conduct ourselves, whichever one we are, in a way that reflects the very best of us and reflects the very best of what is true, what is wise, what is beautiful, what is good. That's a good way to start Thursday, even though it probably was a bit of a disruptive day. Remember, I've oftentimes said that Thursday is oftentimes a day where the turbulence of the week happens. Things that have been building through the week kind of come to a nadir, which means they come together at a low point, and there is turbulence. And then we have to work it through, and hopefully work it through so Friday is future day. That's what you're looking for, what you're working for Friday. It's a day when you get done with the week, and it's a day when you get ready for the next one, and you are prepared to make the weekend a time of rest, relaxation, renewal. Finish up a few of the work that you have to get done that is more of a personal nature, and then you have to worship. That's what you should do on the weekend. I'm Stan Houston. This is Interesting Ideas, and today, three things. The debate in the United States about the Republican candidates for president, the debate that wasn't, and I'll tell you why. And then I'm going to ask you, are you going to do it right? That's right. Do it right, but W-R-I-G-H-T. We'll visit that wonderful event that I happened about a couple weeks ago when I got to go to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. And then I'm going to ask you, since school is starting in many parts of North America and the northern part of the hemisphere, school is starting. Who are you teaching now? See, the new year is off and running. We began that on remember, that was on Monday. And so who are you going to be teaching in this new school year? I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas, and it begins right now. It is interesting to remember what one of my, he was trying to be a mentor, but he really wasn't a very nice person. And so I took him not as seriously as I could, and I probably shouldn't. But he had a lot of smart things to say, and I learned a lot from him, even though I didn't always appreciate him, and probably in the whole measure of things didn't. But I do remember this one thing. He said, if it's in the news, it's not important. If it's in today's news, it's not important. The things that are important about our life, our business, usually don't make the news, and particularly the news that is reflected on the media, which is not in the business of information. It is in the business of entertainment, and it is in the business not of helping us live better, but it is in the business of helping those who do the news to live better and have a better living. They are in the business of keeping us frightened, upset, perhaps mad, or delighted. They are in the business of making us feel in a way that will benefit them and their sponsors and advertisers. And once you understand that, you get a little bit of a different perspective. Doesn't mean you can't use it. In fact, you have to use it. You have to use the media, and that'll be a lesson coming up. But in effect, don't take it too seriously. Now, the debate It was the 7 candidates of the Republican Party who have polled second to the next 8 higher. Because the first one, Donald Trump, who obviously is polling the best by far, way ahead of all of them, and has more money and has received more donations. He just has not agreed to be there. And so the first 2 debates were held without him. And of course, there's all kinds of thinking about what's going to happen about that. And I'll give you a little speculation on that, and we'll see if I'm right. First of all, anybody who watched it and then saw the situation as it emerged and as it has been evaluated would probably agree it didn't work. Here's why it didn't work. It wasn't a debate. It's a bit of an argument. It's a bit of a verbal cat fight. But a debate is generally 2 people, maybe 3. But what they are doing is they are talking about a single, mostly single idea, question, or proposition, and they are bringing different positions or different sides to it. You know, we think of the Lincoln-Douglas debates in America, and this was Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas who had challenged him, and the debate was primarily over slavery. Their different views on slavery. You can't have a debate with 8 people, or 7, probably not even 5. 3 perhaps at the most, but it's not a debate. And the way it should have been handled is this. They've got the top 8. Okay, number 8 gets 7 minutes to say whatever he wants to say. He goes first, which is an advantage. But it's not the advantage, because it's better to go last. And so what happens is that the person at first gets to go, but the person who ranks the highest gets to be last. And then between 2 and 7, they do a lottery. And here's what happens. The person does 7 minutes, and then 3 people question him about what she said. That's it. They don't ask questions about what they want to know. They ask questions about the positions, the statements they made. And then they get 3 minutes, so each person gets 10 minutes. They're done. They go sit on the side. Next person comes. They do 7 strong minutes. Hey, tell your story in 7 minutes. If you can't do that, you're not fit to be president. Bingo, 3 minutes. You're going to get 3 questions. Answer them sharp, concise, pointed, and powerful. Bingo, you're done. Finally, the one who had the best rating, they get to be last. That's the one that people will remember the most. And they get the final word. They know no one's going to challenge them, because the other people could say something about what somebody else said before, but not this person. They get to wind it up, except they still have to take the 3 questions from the 3 moderators, and they have to finish it well. And then what I would simply say is probably you ended up by simply asking the audience to make a judgment. You simply ask the audience, who did the best job of helping you better understand who to vote for and why? And that's the question that everybody in the audience has to answer. Who did the best job? And then you can survey and do all the polling you want on that question. That would work. But the way they did it and the way they are doing it does not work. And by the way, supposedly, if they're going to keep this format, and this is probably what Donald Trump is planning to do, it's supposed to get smaller. because people have to drop out because they didn't get enough rating. And when it gets down to maybe 3 or 4 or 2 or 3, then Trump will jump in because he now has the ability to make his point. He will be the one which the attention will be on, and he will perhaps appear at the last debate, and he'll get his word in. All this time, he knows he's letting the charges against him, which he believes are false and fake, those things will fall apart. They won't get stronger. What will happen is the charges against Joe Biden, if he's still the one, will get stronger because the more of that stuff will come out. And then perhaps he'll be ready. Donald Trump will believe that he is ready. He will have chosen probably one of his opponents to be the vice presidential candidate, and I think I know exactly who that would be, and there's a very good reason for that. And then Joe Biden will have to be, if he's the one, and of course there's speculation he might be on the way out, but who knows, Trump will find himself in the best position to have a second run, third run for the presidency, for hopefully, in his mind and in his supporters' minds, a powerful second term. And let me tell you, things will really rock if he does become president. If Joe Biden becomes president, the things that are rocking will just continue on. So you're going to have to make a decision whether you want the rocking that's going on, or do you want to see if you'll take your chance for a new rock that perhaps will give different results and different circumstances. That's the way the world is right now. Right now, that's my description of the debate. But I'm going to ask you to do a couple other things before I quit for today. It's about doing it right. And then, as I said, who are you teaching now? I'm Stan Hughes, and the program is Interesting Ideas. We're here to help you have a better life starting now, right now, in the new year. We'll be right back. As I pointed out, one of the expressions of wonder that I had coming up was a kind of a lifetime wish. We were invited by friends to go to the Outer Bank. I'd never been that, and our recent move to North Carolina. And of course, one of the things I was looking forward to was the fact that Kitty Hawk, where the first Wright brothers flew their first airplane. And I wanted to go to that. And so I did, and it was a fascinating story, and it was a fascinating place, and I so enjoyed the little museum that's there, and the people who were running it were not only really good in terms of crowd control and all of that type of stuff, but they were well informed, they were experts, they told wonderful stories about the Wright brothers and about the whole situation there. But then I picked up David McCulloch's book, went to the bookshop, and there were a number of books there, and I asked him, what would be the best one? And one of the volunteers said, well, I really like David McCulloch's. And so I read it, and I was fascinated by it. I did not realize how much work went into what they did. Simple men, humble men, brothers, running a bicycle factory, which, by the way, was kind of a new idea. Remember, bicycles had their peak in terms of creativity during the beginning of the 19th century, from 19th to the 20th century. End of the 19th century into the 20th century, they were the new thing. because it was the bicycle that began to replace the horse. And of course, it was then the car, the automobile, which replaced the horse, but also replaced in many ways the bicycle. But of course, the bicycles continue on to do well. And they were in the bicycle business. And they spent so much time, and there were so many failures before they were first in flight for basically less than a minute. But it was the start, and they figured out how to do it. And everything we now know today about flying an airplane, most of it were the issues of momentum, lift, being able to manipulate it, go up and down. They dealt with that. And the rest has simply been an improvement in all of the other things that go into the technology. But I wanted to point out, and this was so amazing, why you should read that book. And David McCulloch's not going to give me any money. But to get the very human story. And these men did not think of themselves as businessmen. They thought of themselves as observers. They watched birds. They were readers. They were creators. And because they did their work, they had a sense of humble confidence. They could stand their ground because they knew that what they had done or what they were going to do was based on a lot of hard work, study, and effort and experience. And two remarkable men. Unfortunately, one of them died not many years afterwards. One of them continued on. But look at them as men who created something new, and look at the lives they lived. So I really encourage you in this new year, if you want to learn how to be brand new, look at some of the people who actually have done some things that are brand new. So do it right. WRIGHT. Just a thought. I'll be back. Here we go. I'm challenging people. First of all, it's based on my idea of what I call the Jesus entrepreneur experience. And the fundamental issue that I teach there is what Jesus was all about. Was starting. He started something. He clarified and gave the value and the whole ideas away in himself and in his teachings. If you learn what he did and learn what he said and learn basically, you do the Wright brothers' work with him in what he said and what he did and how he behaved, you'll get the story. But then what he was involved in was teaching. And so I've convinced myself, and I've been a teacher professionally, but I'm convinced that all of our lives and all of the things that make the future go well is when wise, intelligent, insightful, truth-seeking people teach others. And they're not necessarily, probably never are professional. So I simply am asking you this year, who are you going to teach this year? One person? Many people? Who are you going to teach this year? And what are you going to teach them? I'm going to challenge you right now to do that in 24. In 24, this is something for you to do. Decide, discover, perhaps choose, find a way to teach somebody. Teach them wisdom, insight, truth that will help them live better right now. And what are you going to teach them that will help them do that? I challenge you right now. I can help you do that. StanHouston@gmail.com. StanHouston@gmail.com. We'll help you make 24, perhaps maybe one of those forever better years. I would love to have that opportunity to perhaps coach and teach you. See if I can help you. I believe I can, or I perhaps know somebody who can. All the best and blessings to you. Till next time, whenever that is, on Interesting Ideas. Take care, be blessed, bless others, and be beautiful. And bye for now.